In this video, we will explain how to understand the guidelines. Before to go into the detail, we must know the different rules of the guideline and inspiration materials. So the brand guideline is the instruction book to guide how to present the written contents in the brand visual identity. And here is the example. And the inspiration file is one with the bulk of well-selected slides from previous projects. After the careful selection, admin brush up the deck followed by the guidelines, just like here. But however, since this process takes some time, you cannot guarantee that the inspiration file is the most up to date based on the guideline all the time. So if there's some slides from the inspiration file does not follow the guideline rules, then you must go with the guideline, not the inspiration file. So you now understand the definition of the guideline. Let's take a look at the process for guideline creation. In this section, you will see the different types of guideline materials admin receives it from clients. There are two main different types of guideline materials admin receives it from client. First case is the guideline document, which is too simple and contain many lack of detailed information. Usually, those documents are only contain like how to present logos, what color and font to use, and what is the template layout we need to use. I mean, certainly not enough to make your job easier. And the second case is when the guideline material contains like too many information. As you can see in this screen, yes, we sometimes receive these like 80 or even like 100 pages of PDF guideline from clients. And neither of those materials is ready to be presented on the platform. So we need to create the guideline based on our best judgments and rules. So the rules we need to consider when we create guideline can be based on two sides. So one is for client sides and another part is for you, a specialist. So for clients, what admin needs to aim when we create the guideline is that we must allow them to receive the files to match their brand identity, and they must receive the consistent results every day, like daily basis work. And for the specialist side, we must consider that all the different client guidelines be presented in identical format. So specialists can find the information they need very quickly. And most importantly, the information should contain to help out the specialist to make the deck visually consistent. So, to keep those rules in mind, no matter what type of guideline we receive from client, admins go through the materials and select or sometimes add the information specialist needs, and then put it into the identical guideline formatting like this, which normally contains slide frame, title placement, formatting, color to use, text box formatting, bullet point formatting, how to format the graph, tables, and on and on and on. And once that is done, we also send it to the client to get the confirmation of our judgment. And then we upload the guideline decks into the platform to be ready for you. But there's something to be noted. Please note that we often receive the request from our clients to change the rules in the guideline. So please check the platform and see if there's any like pink tag called new next to the guideline. You must thoroughly check it so you know your knowledge can be most up to date all the time. And also, like even though admin really try hard to make formatting of the guidelines more standardized, there will always a few clients to insist to maintain their own guideline formatting. That is also the reason why you sometimes see very different formatting of the guideline materials, and that's not something we can do about it. So far, we have gone through the process of the guidelines creation and the definition of the guideline and the inspiration materials. Then now we must move on to the most important section, how. to check your slides with the guideline, and let's figure what is the best way to do it. Um, be very honest and straightforward to you. There is no cheat key to make the guideline checking easy, unless you have worked with the same guidelines over and over and over again. However, there are two key tips we can offer to let you make less guideline mistakes. So the first tip is take the elements directly from the guidelines. So from the beginning of your work, please take the key elements directly from the guideline. So this way you can guarantee that you are in a good hand early on, unless there are some mistakes on the guideline. The main elements you can take from the guidelines are text boxes and the bullet points and the footnote boxes or sometimes the slide number boxes. And here, please remember for the coloring wise, you must directly select from the color, template color scheme. Do not use an eyedropper unless the templates, the client template and client guideline has not been properly set up for the coloring. So if you use the eyedropper, there is a chance when you convert it to another slide or another template, when we send it back to the client, and they will get the wrong result. So the key here is to make sure to use directly from the template color scheme, not using the eyedropper. And second tip is to check the guideline per smaller bulk of your working slide. What it means is that you need to check the guideline every 2 to 3 slides you have worked on. And in here, the meaning of the check the guideline is that each slide elements must be confirmed every single point from the guideline. There are so many different rules in the guideline. For example, title formatting, color usage, bullet point annotation, bullet point shapes, bullet point colors, icon formatting, and so many things. So in order to check all these points, you need to work in a smaller bulk, especially when you are working with non-familiar guidelines. It is more difficult to find the mistakes when you are checking the guideline with like 30 different slides. Like that is for sure. So make sure you will work with the very, very smaller bulk. Every single slide or every 2 slide, you need to check the guideline. Okay. So, in conclusion, as we have explained earlier, you must go through every single point from the guideline and compare with your slide individually. Like, please remember there are multiple points and rules to check for one single slide. Okay, I have an example in here. On the left hand side, we have this example of the guideline. Guideline contains all different types of information, which is pretty standard formatting in our platform. And here is the example of, your working file or your slides, the output. So how to check it is that you just need to like check the guideline. Okay, I can see the guideline has, the title formatting. Okay, let me just check with my output file. Okay, I can see this is clearly different, so I need to check it. Okay, what about the slide frame? Hmm, I have, fit to the slide frame correctly. Okay, what about the color usage? Okay, I can see I have used the main color pretty well. And what about the text formatting? So when I click the formatting of this text box and it shows exactly same, formatting and then the numbers that I have to put in. So this is correct. Okay, what about the highlight color? When I click the color scheme, it has the same RGB code. Okay, that is correct. Okay, what about the icons? Okay, I can definitely see this is two very different icon types, so it's my mistake. I need to check it. And what about the heading formatting? Okay, yes, it is correct. Okay, what about the highlight text? It's also correct. But then what about the bullet points? Okay, I can see the first bullet points is correct, but the second bullet points is definitely incorrect. So I need to check it. Okay, so I think I have to check all, but then what about these leftovers? well, this leftover information does not have any, elements to compare with in your slide. So just move on. And you just got to do it for the next slide. So this is how you check, or how you can actually confirm when admin asks, have you checked the guideline? And if in order to say yes, you must go through this process. That's how you make your answer more confirmed. So that is how you check the guidelines. And as you can see, this is not the easiest process, but still, if you ask us why you need to carry the guideline, well, it's because the following guideline is the key to boost your productivity and for the good rating. So for the rating part, it is not possible to get a high rating if your slide does not follow the client guideline. There's no doubt of that. And but if you implement the guideline from the start, you will have a fewer edit or the fewer rework from the admins. And of course, that makes your work speed way faster. And it will lead you to be able to apply one more project instead of the stuck on the one small project due to like many rework related to the guideline. And when you go through the guideline properly, like we have introduced in this video, then you know then the next project you will find it way easier time to work with the same guideline. Then of course that will also the key to the boost of your productivity. So please make sure you will follow the guidelines and increase your productivity. And thank you so much. Let's see you in the next training video.